Hello, everyone. This is Holly. As usual, I'm going to share the link on our site and hope a few folks will join us. 7H is a site to practice your English and for adults, and it's a friendly, helpful community. We have members from around the world. Many of us been on two other sites together. English Cafe closed 6 years ago now, and Loop, Learn English with a Worldwide Perspective, which closed about a year and a half ago. 7H started up by myself afterwards, is smaller scale and likely to stay that way, trying to keep our participants to welcoming all participants, trying to keep our membership to those who are actually actively learning at this time. Anyone is welcome to visit the site and read our discussions, but to post replies, you do need to join. Absolutely free, will stay free, and hope to see more members as we continue. It's always interesting to hear new voices, no matter where you are in your language learning journey. You're welcome to join and listen. Listening to a language you are learning is always helpful, even if you don't feel it is at the time. But 7H is best for intermediate to advanced level learners, or those who feel their speaking or writing level is there. So check us out. And here comes Gerard.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Apologies again for Monday's craziness. And hopefully back on track again. Glad to get some more feedback from folks in the chat. I haven't seen too much from you yet, but have heard lots from you in the past. And saw that you responded to Yvonne's suggestion for a topic of mistakes and what they can cost us. So loop is what comes to mind for me when that comes up. And personal health choices. Ignoring things for too long is a mistake that can definitely cost you. I am learning the hard way, which I guess is the best lessons in life, they say.
But you need to try.
Yeah, I keep trying. I'm trying slowly, surely, different ways, but been a rough week. A friend of ours from I don't think high school. I think someone that my husband met immediately after high school when he started working. But we've been friends with them for as long as I've known my husband, too many decades now. But he also ignored health issues, and he's now at some strange virus that got his lungs, and he's now hospice and probably not going to last the week. And it's just so awful. And the doctors all say that if he had gone and sought help early, they probably could have stopped. It's just hard for everyone.
Masan is here.
Yes. Hello. So the pop out chat annoys you. It is different. I usually use the mobile link so that I see it all in one full page view. That link is a sub tab, but I usually, I just pasted it on the site instead of here, but doesn't matter. I usually use this link so that I can see it all in one screen. And it's easier for me. And but it's a personal preference, and it is what it is. And I really don't want to take it away from 7-H. I would like to try and have activity there, but I don't always get what I want. So I really do appreciate the feedback. I have a question for you guys. Do you ever on Telegram, do you ever search and easily find prior discussions, or is it chat and gone? Microphone? Yeah. Your mic's off. Yeah.
Yes, we can search the previous conversation by uh, putting keywords.
And do you use that often?
Yes, I use that because if I asked something to teacher Lee and if he introduced some new vocabularies, then I will remember the incident about let's talk about something aliens like that. So I will put the alien keyword on the search term. Then it will go back to all the alien keywords, so I can search.
Okay. And have you found a way to do that on Facebook? Is there a way to easily find on Facebook on a group page or a page or a on Facebook at all? Is it easy for you to find prior discussions? Do you use Facebook?
I use Facebook, but I don't use the search term. I don't think it is very easy to find the prior discussion.
That's my experience. I'm just trying to see if there's something I can learn. Yeah. Is that your kitty I hear? Yeah.
Yes.
Gerard, do you use the search on Telegram very often? Do you go back, or is it done and gone?
I know everything keeps recorded, all the former conversations, but I don't usually find or seek things on Telegram.
So you're happy with just going and something new all the time. Yeah. More and more people around the world of various ages, particularly the millennial and younger group, but many ages now, the percentages are going up and up and up of people who do most of their learning of whatever on a smartphone. I don't. I put down my smartphone and go to my computer whenever possible. But most people do. So it's an especially hard adjustment for me to think about. And it requires a complete refocus of what I believe in as strong learning. But if there aren't as many long-term focused learners, maybe I need to rethink that again some more. I ponder often how much is that I want to go back and see what I did. So how much of it is for Holly? And I saw Ivan's note, and I agree with him. It's been a very interesting process for me. The first 6 months of this site, 7H, I was not allowed to have another administrator. Only one administrator, me, was allowed. So everything had to be done by me. And well, lots of things feed into this, but I've realized that there are a few things that I'm very frustrated with that I can't get the way I want because I don't know the coding. But most of it is so much less stress, not worrying about all the things that I thought were so important and spent so much time on that could have been spent elsewhere. Now, my biggest frustration is just not feeling well enough to do what I want to do as often as I want to do it. But interesting. But if you're learning, it's hard for you because you've traveled so far and had lots of experiences. But do you know others who are just starting to learn English? who are where you were 5 years ago, 7 years ago? Do you know anyone who's at that point?
Yes.
And where is their best learning experience happening? Do you know?
She's going to an official school of languages.
Okay.
She's about to finish the upper intermediate level in English.
So still with an in-person classroom, old-fashioned style,
Old-fashioned.
more or less. Yeah. Okay. Does she use online features, learning tools? Do you know?
Yes, I think she watches some TED Talks, but she doesn't interact in a place like similar to Loop or other sites similar.
Okay. Okay. Vasant, do you know anyone?
Yes, in my college days, there are so many people who is fond of learning English, and in India, especially, we have a lot of private teaching centers that teaches students how to communicate in English. So it's a spoken English classes. Many people go there and practice by themselves, but no, I have never seen anybody using online platforms to learn English. I think I am the one in my surrounding.
Okay, interesting. I'm still trying. I was so excited back in December when I met with the Literacy Volunteer Center here, and it's still in the usual bureaucracy of wait because of partially because of Trump and the tax law changes and lots of things featuring in. And so we're working towards April now for maybe doing something else, but I'm already experiencing why I left that world because that's crazy. Anyway, still hoping. And I'm very curious to get in there because they have university spouses and university students who are seeking more English outside of the academic focused classroom, subject focused classroom. And they have local residents, refugees. So they have that have been here a long time and new refugees. They have a very diverse population, both in income and country of origin and time in the US and level of English. So it's a total mix. And so they tell me, they ask on their intake form if people have a smartphone, and about 90% of the people coming in do have smartphones. So I'm really want to get in there and find out how turned off they are by 7H on their smartphone, or to maybe feel a better place for me to work toward, because I don't love my smartphone. I'm glad I have it, but I'm not, my eyes want this nice big screen I have in front of me right now, 27 inches. I like it. It works better for me. But again, I have to remember what I supposedly am doing this for others. And I just now see your question from 1 minute ago. Yeah.
A question for you, Holly. Do you do other teaching activities besides 7H?
The literacy volunteers is what I'm working toward right now. And I am no longer tutoring. I just can't be. No. So no, I'm not at the moment. I go to the library. I volunteer at the library once or twice a week, and sometimes encounter people and will help on the spot, but not scheduled. I'm not tutoring. I had one student for a couple of months preparing for the IELTS, and it was hard. I only missed one class, but it took a lot out of me. Yeah.
How many hours a day can you be in front of your computer?
here, if I am here when I'm ready to be here, probably a total of about 3 most days, but it's not all at one time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the Literacy Volunteers is 1 day a week, and it is a set time. And I'm also curious about how well, but I can schedule it at my best time of day, which tends to be right about now, most days. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to I'm having a heck of a time with medication. I don't like taking medicine, and I'm trying to get off of one of the meds that I'm on, and I'm not sleeping well, and that makes everything else fall apart. So, uh, later today, I get to see the doctor for this tinnitus, however.
Your sound is broken.
Still?
Okay, no, now I can hear you.
Yeah, so I'll see what this doctor has to offer. This all I hear is you have to learn to live with it, and that's not an answer that's helpful for me at the fast and furious. Fast and furious. With the broadcast. There you are, back
Hello.
again.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything else on in the background.
Some blackouts.
Yeah, it is very windy here, and it might be that my connection is fluctuating. I was worried last night that we were going to lose power again. It was really strong gusts again last night. What is the weather season in India now? I know Gerard always has beautiful weather, except dry, too dry maybe. But what is, where is India now, your area?
It is, we are in the beginning of summer season, but there is a cyclone formed nearby the Bay of Bengal. So they said, yes, I think it is called a cyclone, which causes the rain here. So they said, upcoming 1 week will have some rain, a considerable amount of rain. We hope the cyclone will be less harmful. I think it's will not turn a tornado.
Right. Yeah.
Do you? Well, how do you call it? Is that a cyclone which causes the rain?
I thought cyclone was wind, but I see Gerard nodding. He's more expert than I on correct weather causes. He studies the skies.
They said,
I think so.
they said it's a low pressure on the sea level. So I don't know how to name it.
Gerard's researching as we speak.
Yeah, but I think cyclone is the same as hurricane. So hurricane is wind with rain.
Okay, so it starts out on the water, similar swirl pattern, and directs the rain and winds. Yeah. And holiday season coming up for you, so you're probably extra busy too, Vasant. Yeah.
What kind of holidays?
The with your church? Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The Good Friday and Easter.
Yeah. It's interesting to me here in the US. I feel like churches are dividing themselves into stronger, not against each other, but stronger stance of who and what they are. So in one way, it's kind of nice because it it feels more honest. The advertising and promotion that churches are doing to encourage and welcome or not to welcome others seems clearer, more clearly defined. So the authenticity seems to be returning, at least in some people's minds, and that's I think helpful in any area. I don't know what makes headlines anymore. There are so many things that could make headlines. But Pennsylvania, we had an unusual midterm election. Did you hear anything about this in your news outlets or no? So it's been humorous listening to people. So in Pennsylvania, there was an area that was strongly for President Trump, strong supporters, one of the strongest regions of support for President Trump. And they had, for complicated reasons, a midterm election, and they thought it was a shoe-in. Do you know this expression, shoe-in? No? Good idiom?
No.
They thought it would be an easy win. You slip your foot right in the shoe, a shoe-in win for the Republicans, because it's been for 40 some years, strong Republican, but the Democrat won. And so the Republicans are all explaining it away for various reasons, some of them quite legitimate. The Democrat that won is very conservative, so he's as close to a Republican as you can get and still register as a Democrat. But it does show some dissatisfaction with all things Trump. And I think no matter who you are looking at it, you have to see that a little bit. So it's just funny listening to people and reading the headlines of the exaggerations. Not a whole lot of authenticity. There's a lot of exaggeration. Oy, yeah.
Isn't that the time that more Republicans are against their president?
We hope so.
I mean, even in high positions, like the Bushes, for instance.
Like everybody leaving the White House, you mean?
I mean, Bush, I think Bush was against Donald Trump.
Right.
His family.
Yeah.
Voted Hillary, I think.
But, so much of that is not against Republican. It's against the person, the disregard for human decency.
On the other hand, other people didn't like Hillary.
Right. And a lot of them for the same reasons, that she wasn't always up to human decency, or many people thought so anyway. However, I think she's a lot higher on the scale than so-and-so. He's just, the things he does are so, how does the president of a country send a tweet to fire someone? And then say they want a serious meeting between North Korea and the US for the first time,
I can imagine a meeting between Kim and Donald Trump.
No, I think they need a set of drums and they can just play drums together and talk through the drums. It's funny on some levels and it's scary as hell on other levels. He's just totally not anything this country has seen in a president to this level and this many times. I mean, it's not like he lost it one day and had a meltdown. It's his style of living. And this week, this just another example that's so frustrating in the message that it sends to the public. So his wife, Melania, has been trying to stay as quiet as she can, which I appreciate. But this week at the White House, she is having a gathering, a conference to talk about bullying with children. But the biggest bully child is the man she's married to. All of the things you do to try and de-escalate bullying are the opposite of what he does. So I find that extremely ironic. I hope he doesn't come down and visit the conference. It's just, how do you have that and not be seen as a worldwide joke? And I guess the US is a worldwide joke to many people at the moment. Yeah.
He's a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. So, mistakes that cost you. What's a story you've heard or want to share of a mistake that's cost you?
I share my mistake on 7H. It cost me some money, but I accepted. It's not
And
something
let it go.
I lost
Move.
something that I cannot put a remedy to.
Is there a legal recourse? Could you have tried to? No.
I could.
So
I could have stopped the process of buying the apartment, but I wanted to have my apartment, so.
is that a tactic that you think people plan for to try and
The problem
take
is,
advantage of people?
yes, the realtors and the banks do that. And people don't know what are the better options for them. Many people buy something, an apartment, like blindly, but sometimes they are being a scam.
Yes, yeah. So this is another example of what I would call corruption when this type of thing happens. And it's so frustrating from a consumer point of view. And sometimes is an example of someone who didn't do their homework and should have checked more things. But it's also something that ethically should not happen, right? Should not be planned for. And I'm finding that it personally, I am so stressed by all that's happened that I don't want to add more mistrust to my life, because mistrust is unsettling. So I'm finding that I'm being stupid more because I'm trusting more and not going through all the steps that I know I should. It's a cultural thing. Yeah. So when you have a transaction with someone new, do you tend to trust the handshake and look at, if you're seeing someone, do you tend to trust, or do you read all the fine print and carefully think and take a day?
It depends on whether I know the person. For instance, my bank gives me an advisor. They say, like a counselor, you know. They like, this advisor would give me the best advice for my interest, but actually that's impossible because they have their own interest. So I cannot believe them. One thing that banks did in the past was there were some funds, very risky, with high interest but very a very high risk to lose everything, and they wanted to sell that like it was a very good thing.
Yeah.
And many people lose their money. lost the money.
Yeah, or are still losing. Yeah. Vasant, yeah.
Yeah, talking about trust, sometimes I experience some difficulties with online ordering, uh, especially now with Amazon. Amazon chooses the automatic courier, so uh, I cannot get the postal services. So sometimes I ask
get
the postal service. Uh, yeah,
right.
because
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes I ask the seller personally to ship the order through postal service. Then sometimes they said, okay, I cannot do this with Amazon, so we can talk in private. So I will order and personally, I will ship that order personally. So you can pay pay the amount with some other uh, mobile transaction, like some other apps like PayPal, like that. So I believe them because usually I order books. So what I believe is if somebody is dealing with books, well, more trustworthy, because if it is in any other product, uh, I would not believe them. But when it comes to books, okay, he might have read some books, and he might have been a bookworm or something. So whoever dealing with books will be a polite and a trustworthy person. It's an inner feeling. So I believe them. So,
And so far, they have not ripped you off. So far, they've
yeah,
proven trustworthy.
yeah. They
Yeah.
ship the item without pay.
Interesting. Yeah. And that's an interesting workaround. So if you have a relative or someone that you can trust living where Amazon does deliver, then you can just pay a minimal extra to get it that last leg to you. Huh. Yeah. Amazon, I don't like the fact that they're such a monopoly, but I love Amazon. And they have customer service down. I recently, I don't know if you guys heard this story, probably not. It's like trying to talk less and less about the fire. But a few weeks ago, I had an early morning appointment, and 1 hour before my appointment, our direct wired smoke alarms here in the house started going off and wouldn't stop. Intermittent, horrible smoke alarm sound. And I had to call the fire department because I called my husband and he didn't know what to do. And I called my neighbor and he didn't answer. And I called my other neighbor who said, call the fire department. So I had fire trucks here and it was not a memory I needed triggered. But turned out to be a wiring problem, which is what burned our house down before. So it was a not fun experience. But after that, the fire department recommended, even though they're only 11 years old, recommended replacing all of our smoke alarms because there are better, he told me exactly what to look for. There are better products out, and he saw how how I care about fire and not wanting to lose my home again. So I ordered on Amazon the recommended, I ordered 4 smoke detectors that they recommended replacing, and they never came. And I followed the link to check for the order, and Amazon put up in a message I'd never seen before that said these might be lost in transit. Contact the seller directly. So I contacted the seller who never answered me. So I'm like, that had never happened to me either. But I contacted Amazon again and they instantly refunded my money and suggested I order from another source, Amazon or other, to replace them. And I thought that was awesome. They said they stand by Amazon, and it's not my fault the seller didn't come through. So their service is awesome and friendly and immediate, and in today's world, that's nice. So there are complaints about Amazon and how they may or may not treat their employees well, but they treat their customers well, and I like that. So,
you know, I uncovered. Of course, Basan is first, I think.
Okay, a couple of years ago, I read an answer from Quora. The answer was written by an ex-Amazon executive. So he said that Amazon insists the executives about the customer relationship. They said whatever the customer says is right. Just keep that in your mind. Then go with the rest of the things. So he even experienced with some the bad customers. They always complain about the order, even though they received the correct product. They complain about the product, and then okay, I need a refund, or I need another product. So a particular customer continued to do that, but he knew that. But however, the company policy says that the customer is important. Whatever the customer is saying is correct. So just believe them and do whatever you can console them. They did it.
Do you agree with that?
No, but for a company like Amazon, it won't cost too much for them, so they can go with this. The bad customer ratio is very, very low when compared to the rest of the world, so they can continue with this.
Yeah, their loss ratio. But Amazon's smart and they track. And I suspect that if I were to try this too often, there would be some further follow-up from Amazon. But I've ordered a lot, and I don't rate everything, but I sometimes rate the products, and I've only twice, I think, put a bad review up, and it was a well-deserved bad review from my perspective. And I did not get the satisfaction from the seller, so I posted to warn others. And I've had lots of good experience, positive experiences. Yeah. Gerard.
I uncovered a scam within Amazon 1 or 2 years, no, 2 years, 1 year and a half ago. There are some third parties that sell through Amazon, you know that. Mm-hmm. So those parties sell things very cheap compared with the normal price. When they in the message put a message within that they say, before you check on Amazon, you should send us an email. So they deal. They want the customer deal with them, and they conceal. They ask me my data, but then send me a message that looked like it was from Amazon, but it wasn't. And when they told me that you need to do an electronic transfer to this account, also outside Amazon, that's what I thought. I don't know. Maybe they would deal me the product all the same, but that's not sure. So I wouldn't have the insurance from Amazon. Right. And I saw that not only in Amazon Spain, but I saw that in Amazon UK, Spain, Italy. I check, they do this trick, and now they do the advertising saying you don't buy directly, so buy things through Amazon and pay through Amazon.
Yeah, and it's easier and easier for all sides to target people that way. Of course, they sign with Amazon, those third-party sellers, that they will not do that. So if they're caught, they no longer will sell from Amazon. But
there are some other scams in India, especially I, being working in a postal department, I saw many unknown parcels come to some certain customers. They somehow managed to grab the phone numbers of the customer from some other stores, and they call the customer that you are a lucky customer, then you won such a gift parcel like that. So they will ship that to you, but in that parcel, whatever they said inside the parcel, but it will not uh, be the same as they told you. So I have seen so many parcels like that, and even a couple of weeks ago, they called me uh, from the same. Then I was like, okay, I know that. Then I let them talk and talk, and I asked them so many questions because I had so much of time to spend. So I just played with them. It was a fun uh, conversation. Finally, they just, without saying bye, they just cut the time
Yeah,
because
a
they knew.
similar scam that happens. Black Mata. Hey, she joined us. She was watching and now she's joining us. Hi, nice to see you join us. Another thing that happens with many similar orders something and it's not really what they said, or it comes with lots of free gifts, but some of those here also come with tiny fine print that if you order this first product, you're going to get something every month that's going to cost even more than this low priced first product. And the timeline to cancel before you are stuck with 3 or 4 or 6 months. Thank you. Me too. So many people get scammed in this way, and there are protections where you can call and get those people in trouble and get out of your commitment. But many people don't pay attention to their charge card enough and are stuck before they realize what's happened. Vasant.
Yes, a few months ago, Teacher Lee mentioned about how the credit card informations are used in online purchasing. And I wasn't aware of that because for an antivirus program, they asked me about the credit card details for a certain period, for 1 year. Then I was about to sign up for that, but Teacher Lee said that after 1 year, they will automatically reduce the amount from your account. And I was not aware of that. He really saved me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this happens so much, so often. And my husband does taxes, and it just astounds me. People who make $2 and $3 and $4 and $500,000 a year spend and charge a lot more than we do, and they don't look at their charge card itemization, and they spend so much money. Yeah. Black Mud, I don't know if you're able to talk or want to, or if you're just listening. To give you a chance if you want to say hey or share a story of scammers and trust. No, maybe not. Yeah. I'm trying hard to build the trust with you guys to show up when I'm supposed to, twice a week. And trying hard. So next week here, I don't know if I'll get to many of the events, but next week is the annual Festival of the Book here in Charlottesville. And so we have hundreds of authors and illustrators and poets and presentations around town. Most of them used to be free, and now more and more of them require a ticket and payment. And so I'm hoping to go to a few of the free ones, but like everything, it's turning into make money where you can, right? But it's a nice event. It'll be fun to have some English Cafe Loop 7H members come during Festival of the Book and share something. So when are you guys going to come visit? Oh, Vasant joined. He's having connection troubles.
Vasant.
Yep, got doubles again. That hasn't happened in quite a while. It makes me think of she used to always have doubles whenever she tried to join us, and I never did figure out how to help her. We lost Black Mata. The post on Facebook this week about English Cafe, boy, the memories. Somebody posted about missing English Cafe. Dang, I keep going back to, yeah, quite a journey. Be wonderful if someone with the ability to do that again would make it available. But
So what's the trend now on internet teaching English?
The webinars, like WizIQ, the less community, teacher at the top and many people at the bottom seems to be what's growing the strongest. Not what I'm interested in. But it's where you can make money. I mean, money talks. I mean, that's where you can make it. The italki site that Teacher Lee and Diana use is doing fairly well, I understand. That also is working. I like most of what they do, and that is working for many individual folks to have a chance.
I think it's an easy way to learn a language and not expensive, but I think it's difficult to know the real level of teaching level of the teachers, because everybody says very positive things about their teachers. They rate very high.
Yeah, there's some of that automated stuff that makes that happen, that generates that. But there are some, I know several of the teachers, and whenever I go and scan their list, and there are some well-intentioned, many, I think, but it is also a place where you can make a few extra dollars at night without doing so much.
It's not a good place for. I think italki is not a good place for very high rate level teachers, because students could think that they are too expensive in comparison with others,
Right. So it's the same circle of frustrations from
if you go to italki and ask $30 per hour, the students will think that that's too much.
Yeah. It's challenging. I really prefer the small group rather than one-on-one, and prefer some consistency, or separate classes that are intended for surprise visitors. But I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know why they don't do something like a small group of students, like 6 students and 1 teacher, and that could be more affordable for the students and get more classes. I think it would be very, very good solution.
And I think the technology makes it easier now if it were set up where you could have the waiting list and have sorry classes full for some people, but not have it be limited like I used to try to do, and many calendars are set up for 6 people, okay, stop. But it's easy now to have waiting lists and be able to get on. I read more and more about 2 things, podcasting and shorter, 5 minutes or less. And I don't know, Bimal's been after me for 7 years now, or 8 years, or 9 years to do podcasting. And I keep thinking about it, but it's me talking, which I do too much of, and not this interaction. And but the shorter is I don't know. Would it be worthwhile to get on Facebook or Telegram or 7H and say, okay, I'm on the Hangout. Join me if you can, and just hang out there for a while and see who comes and come and go. How do you make that work effectively, more than just, okay, I studied English today, I talked and listened for 5 minutes? And no, I don't see it developing the language so much.
No, you would need a lot of followers, because if
Yeah.
you scheduling your classes, not many people attend them. If you change the schedule, then it's like traumatic. So people needs to adapt to the new changes.
Right.
So imagine if they say, okay, I'm going to do a class right now. Who would attend? Nobody, or one person.
Right. So another thing that many teachers are happier doing is preparing a set of, say, 10 topics and presenting over and over and over again the same lesson. But that's also not my favorite. And I have to admit, because I'm doing this free now and not trying to make money, I'm more inclined to do what I want to do and not push nearly as hard to. But that's dangerous too. I mean, I shouldn't be doing this for me. I should be doing it for what I say I'm doing it for. So it's a challenging game. Language extinct, endangered. Something worth reading, huh? I'll take a look at it later. Do either of you use Twitter?
Not really. And you?
I do, not as often as I used to. I like Twitter for certain things, but I think because my time at the computer is less, I don't go very often. I share tweets more than I explore Twitter anymore. I do not follow Donald Trump. I'm not one of his many millions of followers. Did you see that he actually got Twitter to ban people from?
Yes. The Secretary of State, I think. And the guy didn't have Twitter.
What a world. Yeah. And how do we raise children to be ethical citizens in such an environment? A lot of news too with the student walkout. Did that make news for you guys? The student walkout yesterday?
No.
So I forget how many schools participated, but it's been 1 month since that horrible last high school shooting here. And kids, many kids, middle school, high school, and even some elementary schools walked out of school with a planned protest, doing a lot to honor the victims and to say this has to change and we don't want guns in our school, and you have to make changes to the laws, and a lot of marches. And I don't know if it'll do any good, but I do like that more young voters are learning why they should vote and why they should participate. I think I have to say, though, talk about trust and how culture has changed. I have to wonder how many kids just took the afternoon off because they could, and how many were really part of the protests. That I don't know. And I don't know what I would have done if I were in school again and I had a chance to have a day off.
I think Donald Trump said a solution. All the teachers should wear a gun. Like the Dirty
not all the
Harry.
teachers, but yeah, and there are 2 states working towards that quite quickly. Yeah. I don't know what I would do if my daughter were in school still and this were happening. I think I would put her into a Montessori school or a home school. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. My daughter says she still, despite all of this, still favors public education because that's how you get to see the world. Yeah, right. Yeah. That reminds me of a commercial. You guys know Aflac, the duck? Aflac Insurance. There's one, he's a duck, and there's a commercial where there's a boat sinking and the duck keeps trying to put his beak into the holes to stop the sinking boat. Reminds me. I asked earlier about Publishers Clearinghouse. Do you guys know this name?
No.
Vasant? No, I got one in the mail this week and I haven't opened it yet because I want to take pictures and I'm going to add a post about it. It has fooled so many people. When I used to teach GED, and my father-in-law got fooled by this once. You open up the envelope and Publishers Clearinghouse giveaway, and you open it up and it says, "You have won $10,000. And then you read the fine. But I used to get them all the time when I was first on my own, but it's been years since I've seen one come in my mailbox. So I'm wondering what I ordered or who I contacted that somehow got me back on Publishers Clearinghouse list. But I'll be adding a post about them. Definitely.
Maybe it's for real this time.
Yeah, maybe it's real. Maybe. Yeah. But stamps used to be a lot cheaper. I think they were like 7 cents back in the days when I used to send them in to try to win. But now it's what is it, 49 cents or 53 cents to mail back my chance. No. Yes. Yeah. Email or mail? Postage mail?
No, email.
Your mic is off. Oh, I don't hear you. Do you hear him, Gerard?
I heard him, but very low level.
Oh.
That's weird. No.
Oh, we lost him. Boo.
So before, his level of voice was very high, higher than yours, and now I barely could hear him.
Oh, so odd today. Yeah, Black Mata too. She just put a note. She's had. I don't have anything else open, so I don't think is coming from me. I did download a new program the other day, but it's closed, so it shouldn't be impacting. Mail. Yeah, I wonder if he got. I get these emails in my spam folder frequently, and once in a while they get on loop, or hopefully not on 7H. I have two that I keep waiting to block. So he's back. So we'll hear his story and then end for today. So snail mail or email? Oh no, I
Email,
can't
but
hear you.
your voice is very low, Hassan, Basant.
Oh, so bad connection day. Sorry. So you can add a comment when I put my post. So thanks for giving me a chance, and hope we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Copy our chat.